All right. So here we are. We're now live on Facebook. We're going to play a quick intro. We're going to change it up today. I'm not going to play a normal intro. I don't know why. I'm just going to play this one. So here we go. Got a little soul speak on the ascension that we all share. This unveiling, this apocalypse. You know, all this discussion of what is reality, conspiracy, heresy, truth that's stranger than fiction. Doesn't get any better than this. Discussion of what is reality. It's not just time to bring on the apocalypse, it's time to start riding it. It's not going to hurt us. Because one thing's for sure, in our conscious mind and even in our subconscious, if that's what you want to call it, we have always survived. And the reason for that is because we never die. So when it comes to ascension, what else is there to talk about? This ascension, unveiling, is not complicated. It's just a microcosm of the state of our being from any point, from this present moment to any point in our past. And in regard to the past, now we can look back to see, to awaken without the element of linear time. Yeah. Because the wisdom still comes, because the universe is never late. That means we can take from our past the powerful wisdom of the eternal moments, seen when we unveil the hurts and the blame given and received. You know, we've reached a point where forgiveness will cease to exist. Because perfection did not create forgiveness, but as a path to a higher perfection, a new reflection of itself, of ourselves. Yeah, it's true. It's just not necessary forgiveness, and neither is earth love. So we can stop chasing both right now and all the false securities and failed searches that go with the lofty goals of a moral world. Both the things that they put beyond our reach and the reasons they gave us for not being able to reach them. It's time to re-enter the fold of the immortal, the fold of the I Am soul. Okay, one sec on, we're going to get the link to Facebook comments because somebody's having some problems. So let me just do that real quickly. Hello, everybody. Good to see you on this powerful, powerful day. All right, there's the Zoom link for anybody who's having problems with Facebook. And let me pull up our beloved sister, our new friend for me anyway. Hang on. Let's see, Natasha Weeks is in the house. And from what I understand, she's a traveler. She's a road warrior.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear us?
Yes, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that all three of you came because I was wondering, but I didn't want to
Here. So they're just staying for a minute because
Oh, they
it's,
can stay as long as they want.
well, it's Ocean's nap time. So he's about ready. But Ocean he told me this morning that he wanted to share his gift with everybody.
Let's do it.
And it's just his codes and his transmission. Hi. So you want to say hi? Say hi.
What's up, Ocean?
Hi. Ow. Oh, is it out? So basically, as you see Ocean, whatever you're feeling, thinking, coming in, this is just for you in that now moment, whether it's a healing. Yeah, he's getting ready. Hi, big guy. And this is Ryan, my husband.
Hey, Ryan, how you doing?
So we're just in a little coffee shop, and I hope it's not too loud. Okay. Okay, anyways, they're going to go now. Ocean just wanted to give that gift.
Ocean.
Bye-bye. Ocean.
Say bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
That's perfect.
That was perfect. It's a really beautiful place to be in, to be able to hear your child energetically when they cannot speak with the English language, right? So it was such a gift that he asked this morning to give everyone a gift. I am right about 10 minutes before we came on, I started to receive a huge download of codes and transmissions. And so it was kind of like everything that I was thinking or a goal that I had for today has kind of just disappeared. So whatever comes out is what's needed. And because what the purpose of this, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, that's perfect. That's how we operate here.
Yeah, the purpose of this call now is just to gift everything that I have been downloading to everyone today on this beautiful day. It's been a really intense week.
I'm starting to go, okay, well, this has been an intense 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, the whole month, last year, the whole freaking 58 years now. I don't know. But you got downloaded 10 minutes before I started getting downloaded. We started at 12 my time. So it happened around 10:30. About an hour and a half ago, I started vibrating. Yeah. The whole body was vibrating. And I started getting all these downloads. I mean, a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
Morgan and I, there's a bunch of stuff about Morgan and I, a bunch of stuff about this trip we're about to take. 8 years ago, the second download I ever received was just this movie that played for a day and a half. I watched it, and it was just traveling first through North America, then Europe, and then other countries, Australia, and but it was traveling in a van or bus or train, and so it came back a while ago, and it started showing people. Some people I knew and some people I didn't know, and I'm thinking you guys are one of them. So, but anyway,
well, for sure, you have been our soul family for a while, and I have felt you and Morgan, as well as very close to Vera and Augusty for months now, for sure. And there is some beautiful grand design that is just now coming together. And I'm sorry, the computer's kind of freezing, so I don't know.
No, you're good. That's on
okay.
And you probably find you don't have to hold that mic. You'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've
done this a few times, so
yeah, just a few. So it's such a blessing and a joy for me to be here today. Re-meeting you, and of course, all of these transmissions and all the downloads. It's a remembering, right? It's remembering.
I think
that was already within us.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Richie Sauter was on 10 days ago or so, and he said we're actually going backwards. If there's no time, but that's my signal.
Yeah.
Okay. But he said we're going backwards. That we already laid this whole thing out, and we're just stepping back into it, which. I know that doesn't sound right to the rational mind, but it makes sense to my higher mind.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Well,
you
there's
know,
not a lot of, bridging the gap between the linear mind and the heart. It does take a lot of inner work, and a little bit of our story. When we got the call, which the call from, our spirit, our soul to
now
know.
how long you two together when this happened?
How long what?
How long had you been together when this happened?
Oh, so Ryan and I are a sacred union couple, like you and Morgan.
Yeah.
So we have been together for, in May, it will be 4 years.
Wow.
Even though we just got married this May, because we had a little surprise come in a couple years ago, by the name of Ocean. And that was really, for me, that was the start of the embodiment of my highest aspects, my highest selves. And it's not an easy, beautiful process. I definitely am no expert in anything, but all I can speak from is my experience
Exactly.
with my journey. And when Ocean came in, so basically when he was born, I died in every way except the physical body, even though it felt like it really did during labor. And I was reborn, but I was reborn very simple. My intellectual mind was gone. All my spiritual beliefs, like all of these things that I had worked so hard for so long to build up, the teacher that I was, they were all gone. And I no longer believed in any of that. And it wasn't that it was wrong or right. It was just the start of me learning to integrate duality in every single way.
Wow.
And these children that are coming in,
Yeah.
they are just walking mirrors. They are, we can
Tuning
talk.
forks. They're like tuning forks. I don't even need to talk. But I think we can all shut up now and just bring more kids in and just hang out with.
Well, they are coming in, and it's funny. It's any excuse or any way that we, especially those that have been on this ascension path for so long, where when we get to this point, we're so serious.
I know.
And we can't break out of the linear mind, and we want to know the how and blah 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 blah. Give me the answer, right? And these children are showing us that you have to let go of the how, that in each now moment, you create whatever it is. You create that how. But you can't, the linear mind can't plan it anymore. No. Okay, so, well, how do we figure this out, right? Play.
Yeah, right.
These children are showing us imagination, play, dreaming, spontaneity. So I'm sure, much like your travels, there's no plan. We tried to plan in the beginning.
I want to hear about this, but you got so much. Can you stay a little longer than an hour, or do you have to go?
I think so. We'll
just keep talking because you're fast talking like me. But I don't want to miss 3 or 4 things that you picked up on. But I definitely want to hear what's happening. But we'll start. So I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
We're leaving tomorrow. We've been gifted for 1 month, for the month of January, an RV. And, it was really weird because we were in Northern California. I'd never known this person. The day we're leaving Northern California to eventually come over here to Arkansas, a lady sends a message with a picture that I posted actually today on my wall. And it says Todd and Morgan on the Soul Highway, and has this picture of this RV. So she sends me this beautiful photo. I've been watching you guys for YouTube. I don't get on Facebook. I want to offer you, for my husband, I want to offer you for 1 month the use of our RV. And she says, and by the way, we live in Fort Smith, Arkansas. But of all the places in the world, this is where we were headed, to Fort Smith, Arkansas. And I'd never mentioned anybody. So we knew that was alignment. Yeah. And anyway, so my point is, we're going tomorrow. There's 3 different routes we could take, basically 4 different routes we could take. They're all pretty much the same time. And so we wanted New Orleans, but we don't know when. So I checked out New Orleans and I called this place. It was RV park that was close to the French Quarter, and it was $250 a night. I'm like, what's the
Ooh.
point? I'll just pull up at Walmart, turn the generator on. But so I found another one, and it was 35. So I sent Morgan a message, said, hey, I found this place, 2 nights would be $70. And if you want to go to New Orleans, should I go ahead and book it? Because they only have one left. He says, no, I don't think so. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Like that's what you're talking about. And so,
So
like,
yeah,
I
and
don't know
even
what direction. I don't know what direction we're headed tomorrow, but
right.
that's the
Well, and
leading for what you got. Yeah.
so even more, is dropping the beliefs, because when we've been operating from the linear mind, we try to figure out ahead of time. And what we have learned on the road very quickly is that we can't even plan tomorrow, because things won't work out. We will pop up and see $250 a night RV spots, and we don't have we don't choose to spend our money that way, right?
Yeah.
So because we are quantum and we create our reality, I immediately go in if I feel that bump up, which is a belief or a program, right? That I'm not creating my reality. I feel that wherever it is, and okay, thank you. Now let's get excited. Ooh, I'm so excited to see, how inexpensive I can create a night to stay at tonight. I'm so excited to see what kind of amenities can come out. I'm so excited to see if I could even be gifted a place to stay. And every time you get into the feeling and the excitement and the dream, because you then create it, because we are quantum.
Yeah.
We create everything. So the mind wants to say, oh, this is the way it's always been done. When we go online and we research. And our biggest thing between my husband, because I could just exist outside in the air and never be connected online. And he loves to research. So he comes in with all the programming of, oh, well, here's what this says here, and here's the hookups and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, let's just create it. Let's just see how much magic we can be gifted, because we can, because we are infinite souls that said yes to the call of the heart. So of course, all the magic can be created. You know what I mean? So when the message came in that it was time to let go of everything and hit the road.
How long ago was this?
This
was it before
Labor Day weekend?
Oh,
so
just
end
this
of
year.
Yep, just this year.
Oh, okay. So keep going.
Yep. So it came in, and the linear mind is, oh, I have a baby. I can't do this. How are we going to make money? Blah, blah, blah. How, right? And the soul just knows, oh, it's just going to be perfect. And when you think about it and you get excited about dreaming about it, it just feels so beautiful. It's so peaceful, right?
Yeah.
It feels joyful. And so you just keep leading into that. And then you start to see as, all of the programs and beliefs come up of, for us, we lived on a boat, and we were now going to try to sell it in the fall and winter, which the program is that, oh, you can't sell a boat in the winter, or you sell it for really cheap, right? And we have to remodel and all these things. So we had to do a lot of work and a really inner work in a really, really short amount of time to get ourselves ready to go. Every day, we would have beliefs and programs coming up that we'd have to work through, that we can do this.
Yeah.
Why can we do this? Because again, we're infinite and we create our reality, and we can no longer be tied to the old. I knew that there was a choice point, and it was kind of the final choice point of yes or no, right? Either yes, we're going to jump.
This was September.
This was yes, we're going to jump, or no, we're just going to stay like this.
I like that. I call that the fuck it card.
The what card?
The fuck it card. Just fuck it.
Exactly. Well, and that's it, because in our life, it wasn't like things were beautiful. In the ego mind sees how, oh, we both hate our jobs, and the kid's suffering, and his behavior was really awful, because you know what? His needs were not being met. Because these new ones coming in are different from any children, especially the last few years, that have ever been around.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
They're so different. And they come in, yes.
Okay, because I just have a curious one. So just quickly, because I want to get back to this. I just want to know for some backdrop. You two met.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can you just kind of run through that real quick? I
Yeah.
mean, did you guys know? Were you in light worker circles? I mean, did you just
Oh,
meet
no,
each
no.
other? Did you guys know about sacred union? Did you know about ascension? Did you
So
make together?
I was very involved in my spiritual journey, and I had started to become, I started to do healings. I started a spiritual practice, but I was still in San Francisco, and I was very much experiencing, one of the 18 million dark nights, right, that we go
Right.
through.
Dark nights.
And, I was stubborn and not wanting to leave the Bay Area, but it was time to go. It was time to go and meet at the time he was my twin flame. So
you had another one, or
no, this was him. This was
it was
him.
him.
Mm-hmm. And this was when it was really popular, and I met him, and I was like, "This is my twin flame. Where's all the stars and the fireworks?" And and it was just such a deep knowing. It was such a deep belonging, but I knew that I had failed at every other relationship, so this one was going to be different. So when I showed up, we met, and we both knew it was it. On the first date, when I showed up, I said, "You know what?"
Did you admit it to him? Did you tell him right away?
A few dates later, yeah. But I knew that this was going to be different. That I was going to drop all expectations, and I mean all expectations, and be pure acceptance. So for the first month, we talked once a week because he was still in his dark night, and he had to have a lot of time. And of course, the mind goes through everything and wants to make stories. And previously, that Natasha would have run. But I knew that I was going to stay, and I knew this was going to be something. So the first few months were really beautiful, because you're in that I'm in love. But I also saw how much work we were doing together and how much healing we were coming to together. And then the whole twin flame thing started to dissolve. And I saw that, everybody I knew that was with the twin flame, they were falling apart. And we had a really big discussion. And I said, we can transmute this entire thing. Let's clear it out. Let's start over. And let's come to each other as pure, sacred, infinite souls. The difference is Ryan and I have been together through millennia.
Yeah.
Like we have done this so many times.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
So it is easy, even though it's not easy, because the ego wants to place blame and say, well, this is what I want. But when you just exist from your heart, it's so beautiful and it's so peaceful.
But I bet it's, of course, you have the addition, of course, the diamond, crystal, golden, white light child with you, the oceans with you. But
yeah, but that's not easy.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. I can relate to what you're saying.
Yeah.
There's a part of you that knows you've been together and you've done this many times. And then there's the other part, the human part. We were talking about this last night, and I told her, I said, I'm trying to get something across to you as Todd. It's Todd and to Morgan. Like, I fucking love you, man. I mean, like, this is Todd. Now, forget about all the other stuff. This is where the work is. And that's what I'm hearing you say. Yeah. Now, are you finding time goes on that it gets smoother and smoother or changes?
Well, it was really beautiful and smooth, even though there was a ton of work. And, we definitely existed in this beautiful bubble. We really did. And then I got pregnant, and so deep in my soul, I did not want a child. And I had to go through, a lot of mother reversal programs, clear them out, that for lifetimes and lifetimes, I didn't want children, or I lost them, or whatever. So this life, it was so clear. So I had to go through a major healing process when I was pregnant. From the second this child, this spirit chose to occupy, we call him baby meat, because he's like a immortal god that decided to come and occupy a skin suit, right?
Were you communicating with Ocean when he was in the womb? I mean, were you
Oh, he was, yeah. And my abilities were just through the roof. And I was like, you know, my ego's like, look at me. Oh my God. I can see into the future, blah, blah, blah. And then he was born. And then I died. And all of that old went away. And it was now, that was really the start of the new way, even though I didn't have any of this consciousness to understand it. So it was really painful.
But you're communicating with them now energetically, right?
I'm communicating what?
You're communicating with Ocean.
Oh yeah.
I mean, telepathically, what's his position on the move and on being on the move? And
so he was basically the facilitator of it all. Our family carries the divine family original blueprint. And of course, like you and Morgan, you guys, we also carry this, divine couple or sacred union blueprint. And so it was time for us to go and to start, coding this in. And so the linear mind says, oh, okay, well, let's try to budget and plan and let's go. We were living on the Columbia River in Portland, Oregon. Let's go south through Oregon and visit friends and through California.
We just drove past you twice earlier.
Yes, we have been close to each other a lot around these travels, but the mind wants to come see you guys. But when we're following the heart each day, it's okay. Now you're going to this small town because this is where you're going to be, integrating, or you're going to be dropping codes or whatever. The mind likes the stories, and the biggest thing is we really let go of the stories. The stories of, because it's not about doing the work anymore. We just have to be, right?
Yeah.
There actually is no work.
That's a really good point. I think that should be reiterated too, because there's like, well, the grass is always greener, right? And so I think that's part of self-love and expansion. Is we look at somebody and go, oh, their relationship and everything is like, why can't we? And it's like, man, this is work, man.
It is work, because
it also comes with this big challenge to the story, to the ego.
Yeah.
Like, wow. I mean, on one hand you go, oh, we are doing something here, and then on the other hand, you're like, you can't get carried away with it.
Yes.
It's just so humbling.
Well,
right?
Because the story puts you back in the egoic mind. And, I love Natasha, the human aspect of Natasha. She's fantastic. But all my higher aspects, which are within me, my universe is within me, as all of you, right? Doesn't exist outside. They're the ones we are leading the way. Natasha likes the story. But I have to really click offline a lot, which is why we spend most of our time in the backcountry. No power, no service, no phone service, because we are just being. We spend our time playing, dreaming, having fun.
I mean, you guys left, and so the day that you left, okay, after September, however long that took, what did you do? What was the plan? There was no plan, I know, but I mean.
Well, so there was no plan. And basically, what we have learned is because what we carry and what Ocean carries. So Ocean is an Aurora frequency child. They are brand new. And I can talk more about, again, I'm not an expert. I only know what I've read a little bit off the Ascension glossary, Lisa Renee, but they are very brand new to Earth. And so basically, like I said, he's leading the whole thing. And because I'm so hyper aware of that, I say yes over and over and over again to what he plans. But everywhere we have been going, we show up and then a blizzard happens, or major winds, or dumping of snow, or he's bringing in, because the Aurora came back with the basic highest frequency consciousness units of restoring the elements, right? As well as so many more other things that they're here for.
I think me and Morgan need to have one, so we won't have to worry about what we need to figure out how to do what to do and when to do it. Just follow
Well,
the direction of the kid.
well, it's interesting because I know that Morgan's been posting a lot of stuff about dragons lately, and I know that the Aurora are also known to as the tritone dragons or
Right.
dragon luminary. So I'm sure that there's a lot of connection in there.
Yeah.
I'm sure that in your travels, I do not
Yeah.
know, but
Yeah,
it's just
the dragons have been big with us since about this, well, a little over a year, about probably 15 months.
yeah, right. I mean, I've been seeing that. So it is like our family comes into this area and we have not been stable for longer than a few days. We are constantly okay now, and we just know it's time to go. And we literally, it's a feeling or a knowing, or we like the name of a town, or however it comes in, it doesn't matter. It'll come in that day. Okay, sometimes it just comes in for an hour or two before. Oh, okay, now it's time to go here.
Yeah.
And the linear mind wants to say, oh, but this is hard because ocean, it's too much traveling and blah blah blah, and kids need stability and programs.
So what do you do when the human kicks in? Like,
Yeah.
let me say the human, because that sounds disrespectful. When the old programming kicks in, either your partner or you,
Yeah.
how do you get through that and come out, balanced?
So it's actually really simple, and it depends on how strong it's coming in. We're always grateful because those programs were our survival programs. They kept us alive for a very long time, before we had the frequencies and energies. So we are all hyper aware and constantly alert as to when old programs or our higher aspects let us know, oh, this isn't old, so go ahead and clear this out. And it's really simple. Sometimes it's just a state of awareness. Now, if it's a lot deeper, like let's say if the truck breaks down, we have to assess, okay, well, whose programs is this? Where is this coming from? How are we creating this fear, right? And so Ryan and I talk about it, and we get really honest, and then we get really deep, and we find the root, right? And what we've been using for a long time, if it's really deep, is what Morgan actually posted about a while ago, about where you just make a small list, and you have the feelings, right? And then you write the opposing energy. So if I'm feeling lack, then I'm gonna integrate the opposing energy, which is abundance, lack and abundance together, place it in my heart. Boom, we have integrated. We have released that old program. Because in the new way, the new earth, there is no duality. So when the duality comes up, right, we are creating our reality. So we created the truck breaking down. So let's solve the problem. Let's not get upset. Let's not fight. We don't have that anyways. But sometimes if we're tired or hungry or whatever, and we really are able to call each other on it from a really loving spot, because we respect each other a lot. But the key is we allow each other to show up fully all the time. So if Ryan is grumpy, I will give him a long time to be grumpy, and I will never say anything because I understand what it's like. He's processing something. He's going through something. So, sometimes Natasha wants to be like, oh, well, you're really pulling us and it's a bummer, man. And, the vibe's down. If it goes on for too long, if it's past a day, well, then we're going to talk about it. But it's constant allowance and acceptance for each other showing up. Oh, no, never. And sometimes we have to say the hard things. And say, this is what I'm feeling and this is what I'm seeing. And, you need to work on this. And the defenses might go up. Yeah. And what we do, we open our heart. We open our heart to each other, whoever it is. And that's how we operate. And it flows really beautifully. Yeah. Our biggest issue in the beginning was ocean. And getting him to kind of vibe with the constant change and to be able to flow. Because these kids are really high frequency, which means they're really extra spirited. So spirited, very sensitive to energies, but he can control the energy of a room. I watch him as he just turned 2 on Tuesday. He holds his hand out to stop somebody else's energy from entering his field. I mean, he plays and talks with the elementals and the inner earth beings. I mean, he's got two, so we call them the nannies. He's got two star beings that are with him all the time. Because at this moment, his parents are releasing such deep programs,
Yeah.
you know, that have been existing since after the original blueprint, the original organic matrix, right? So we are doing a lot of work, and he's just constantly shining that at us, you know, that tuning fork, like you said, showing us, okay, now here's what you're believing. Here's these old parenting paradigms that you're bringing up in my face, and sorry, it's not going to work, because I'm speaking from Ocean's perspective, because I came here as pure consciousness. I have no programs. I won't be programmed.
Right.
So that's intense, because these ones that won't be programmed, it means that people are going to be really charged by them, because they do not choose dysfunctional families, because they're not here to clear karma or anything.
That's a good point. So they did not choose a dysfunctional family.
No, not the Aurora.
Yeah,
so
no,
there's
that
different.
Makes sense. That makes total sense.
I'm not an expert again, but there's different levels. You know, there were the indigos that came, and they were the paradigm. Just, you know, they broke down the traditional thinking of the paradigm, and then the crystals came in, and they started to build the foundation. But the crystal children were very sensitive to food, to, I mean, everything, energies, and they like had to have a cocoon, right? While they were building the foundation. And then the rainbow children came in. And that's what's really been coming in for, I mean, I don't know how many years, 10 years, 7 years. And they have no karma also. Well, recently.
It would make sense to me that with the amount of individual transmutation, transformation, whatever clearing that's been done, that at some point, whatever they're called, you know, that really matters, but that at some point the souls coming in are not going to, they wouldn't have any reason to go into a dysfunctional family, you know. And ultimately they won't have any reason to step into a dysfunctional realm. This is
no, because so the rainbow children, you know, they were the start of really bridging, and they also have no karma. They're really high energy, and they just came here with their pure transmissions and codes, right? Well, then the Aurora came, and there is, like I said earlier, there is no programming of the Aurora. So when we think of the Aurora Borealis, Aurora was named after the Roman goddess of the dawn. So basically, these children are the dawn. They're the dawn of the new earth, the new way, the new video game completely. So when we answered the call and said yes to our heart, to leaving behind the old paradigm, the old earth, and to hop in we live in a truck camper, which is 60 square feet. So it's the size of a large bathroom. And we have nothing but clothes and
60
food.
Square feet. I was talking to Morgan about this yesterday. 60 square feet. That's not even a large bathroom.
It isn't.
I mean, because the bathtub is 5.5 feet. And so they would have that long rectangular bathroom where you'd walk in, and my pantry, the vanity, the toilet, and the bathtub. So you've got a 10 by 6 area that you
and you know what?
How's everything you have.
We've never been happier. Here's the thing: when you enter the new way, the new earth, Lisa, if everybody hasn't read Lisa Brown's forecast of 2020, the 51 page that Vera took out yesterday, it is fantastic. But it talks about when you 5D, when you get there, you will be reduced to minimalism. It's for a reason.
Yeah.
Our family had to get down to having nothing so that we could learn how to be, how to dream, how to imagine, how to play. When you have stuff, you have to take care of stuff, right? Exactly. And you're distracted all the time. How are you going to raise this beautiful, or hold space for this beautiful being to grow up in. You know, you have to say yes to
Let me
being.
ask you. Let me ask you this. So when it comes, I'm going to pose this in a 5D accurate fashion. So when it comes to, oh, this might be difficult. When it comes to money, when it comes to that program,
Yeah.
is your where are you at with it? In other words, do you say, okay, we're going to do this to generate an income stream or multiple income streams? We're going to do this as we travel, or are you in a space where we're just going to keep going? We know it's going to come to what we need is going to come to us. Are you somewhere in between, a little of both, or what?
So yeah, so you know, the money thing is interesting, because we have so much fear around money and our creation of it, you know, and it comes from a place of lack, right? A feeling we don't have it. But again, going back to the basics, which we are quantum and we create whatever it is. So when we said yes, my husband had been laid off.
Mm.
And that was part of the process. It was part of
Yeah.
the unfolding of the new, right? Or of the old. And so he had been laid off, but there was no money coming in. And I had created a beautiful job being a nanny. So I was able to take my son to work with me, because I knew he made it very clear that he could not go to school, that he was not going to be going to daycare, that he was going to be existing in the space that he needed each time. And it wasn't like he told me what he needed. I just knew he needed to be with his parents. And that again is the, you know, you cannot program. If he goes to school, they fill them with programs, and he won't allow it. It just won't allow it. It's just not going to happen, right? No matter how hard we try. So the money thing.
I'm curious that when you have these conversations with Ocean, I know we all, you know, think differently, and you know what I mean, but I keep picturing like him actually just saying this is the way it is, period. You know, like
Yeah. So these Aurora, they come in and they are basically hosts of personal sovereignty for the new earth. So they just hold this personal sovereignty. So they are the walking, soon to be talking examples of that. Yeah. So this is what, you know, and this is what I will, because this is what I am here for, right? So back to the money. So what we said, okay, higher aspect, we're done. We can't figure this out. Show us, you do it. I mean, really, like, it's like, I don't know what to do, but I know I said yes. I made my final choice to jump into being heart-led, heart-based life. I said yes. We all said yes. And so I said, okay. And then 3 weeks later, after a little bit of bumpy, unemployment came in. Now, unemployment, you know, it's only a small amount, but it's still a revenue, right? And so we're like, this is it. We have it. Now let's sell the boat. And you know, we tried to get really like, let's sell the cars and the boat, and we'll get this much money. We'll have this much money. And none of it worked out the way we did. And we got, you know, a quarter of what we were planning. So we do have a very small savings, very small. But I have been told that we are saving that for what's coming in the future, that it's not to be touched, that it's basically, it's not a surplus to us. It's for a time, you know, in the present, or excuse me, in the future, in quotation marks, that it will be needed. And that it will be there and we will know it, but it's not for us, right? So we still have this small stream, but we have dwindled our everything down to nothing. I mean, our bills are like $200 a month, because when you get rid of everything,
I've been for 8 years. I know what you mean.
you don't need to pay for anything. So our biggest cost is fuel, and so we have a rule: we don't look at our bank account. Because again, because we are the creator and our beliefs create everything.
Wow, that's
If
cool.
we see a number in the bank account, that's what we're going to believe.
We,
right? And then we're going to freak out and be like, oh my God, how are we going to pay for gas tomorrow? And we have to drive this much and gas is so expensive, blah, blah, blah. And there goes the mind. And you've left your heart and you're in the mind and you're freaking out. And you know what? That's not fun.
Right. I mean,
so we don't look at the bank account. And guess what? All the time, everything we need, even though we live really simply, is always there. You know, because gas, we have a big truck. It's like $75 to $100 a tank. That's a lot of money to the mind.
Yeah.
But I've also had the gift in the past of being able to create money out of thin air. And I think this was a gift to me to believe for here and now. To know that when this small stream revenue leaves, that all will still arrive and be aligned.
Yeah.
Because we can create it. Because we can. Because we're here. And we said yes to doing this work, right? I mean, the more we leave the mind and come back to the heart. So when we're having those, contraction days, you know what we do? We 0 point and 0 point. I'll feel a feeling, I'll have a belief, and I just 0 point myself. Sometimes we do that a lot in the day, but every time it clears it out. Every time.
Emerging the polarities like you were talking about.
Always, always. And then you're right back in the heart, and then you find the flow. We were just in a very expensive part of Arizona where RV parks were $100 a night.
That's ridiculous.
And I said, oh, that doesn't feel juicy to me. That doesn't feel fun, and I want to create something fun. We needed time to integrate what we had been receiving, leaving, all of that. And we just needed some downtime to allow all the shifts and changes. Because when you're moving all the time, even though we don't do anything, we're just being, it's still a lot. It is. And so we had created an RV spot because I picked the name. It was called Carefree. And I said, that's it. I like the name. So I called them and, this is when you're in the new way, when you're in the new game, you create what you want. So this was actually an over 55 RV park in the old game. But in our game, in our way, it was all ages were welcome. It had pools, it had spa. In the old way, it was $100 a night. But in our way, it was $25 a night. And they had just had a cancellation that day for an entire week. And we were more than welcome to come. And, it was the taste of what I've been craving for my whole life because everybody was like over 80. But it's
like my age.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
It's such beautiful people, that were so welcoming and wanted to help us and love us and have fun with us. And it's everything that every single one of us are craving so deep down in our soul. We know it's that coexisting. It's the interdependency, no longer the codependency, right? So many people we know talk about this all the time, but this is how we do it. This is how we create it. When you really truly desire it and feel it in your heart, you can create it if you let go of the linear mind and trust that it will come in. We literally say, this is what I want. Okay, cool. Let's make it happen, higher aspects. Cool. It's going to be exciting to see how this unfolds.
Yeah, I've been kind of working with the whole not looking at the bank account.
There's deep programming there. My husband still has a hard time. But every time money comes up, we immediately get our list out and we write it down. We write out what we're feeling, all of it, and we integrate.
Now, do you do the same? Feelings more than once? Does it come up again?
Oh yeah. Because the 8 million layers, the layers are so deep, but they're all coming up to be integrated and transmuted now.
So yeah, this is funny. This happened to me about a week ago. And I've really done a good job on a personal level I think we both have, Morgan and I, because I typically handle that, because you know what I mean. We just both have our strengths. So, I've been watching it, and whenever it starts to get to, you know, a low, and I don't take it with me, but when it starts to drop, I don't worry about it, you know. And if I want to go get a 75-foot Ethernet cable at Walmart, I go and get it.
Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
look, you know what I mean?
100%.
So I've kind of getting there, and it's so funny because about a week ago, I went through a night where I just was purging. Well, actually, like 2 nights, purging like crazy. And it was very intense. And then the next day, I went to Morgan and she was like, well, you know, you need to make a list. So I went downstairs and I made this list. And it just, I had already done this stuff before, right? And so what it was how do you feel inadequate, right? So I showed her the list and she goes, these are like topics. Start feeling. I'm like, damn it, you know, and I put it down. I said, okay, you leave. I started doing it again. I started doing those motions. And then I thought, man, I've done this. You know, I know this is clear. You gotta trust your intuition, right? I'm like, and then I thought, okay, let me try something else. What like in my day-to-day life? And the first thing I thought was finances. So I thought, oh well, you know what? I don't know if it was a distraction or it was just perfect order, perfect design. I said, I'm gonna check the PayPal. So I, you know, pulled it up on the screen and it came up 000. And when I saw those zeros, I got it. You know, I got it. I was like, empty. Like to have nothing is to have everything. And that was one side of the spectrum that I was missing.
Yep.
I was seeing empty, but I don't mean empty like, oh my God, it's empty. It was more like, oh my God, so what? Like that's beautiful. Like that it has no power over me. And then right away, I integrated empty and full, you know, and nothing and everything, and boom, I was done.
Yeah.
And I ran upstairs, and Morgan was like, "I thought you were going to come and say somebody gave you like a big contribution. You were so excited." I said, "No, nothing in the account. It's perfect."
When we have those deep, the deep remembering, you know, of the truth, which is what you went through, nothing is better.
Wow.
So for us, I have been giving this deep knowing that I, you know, am never going to have a job. So the mind really wants to create something. It really wants to try to create a source of revenue, right? Because that's how we existed in the old. But here's the thing. We can only operate in the here and now, in each present moment.
That's right.
Forever. There's nobody to lead us anymore when we're in the new way. There's nobody to tell us what to do. So all we can operate from now, right? And because we're quantum, each time we have this point to create out. So in this moment, if you need that 75-foot cord, you will create it.
Right.
You just will. The mind wants to understand how, but guess what? Thank you, mind. I love you. Thank you. Just sit on the back burner right now. We're just going to let everything else figure it out because we are magic. We are, and we can create anything. And you know, sometimes there is very little resource, right? I mean, it's not a lot.
I know what you mean.
And we started out budgeting and planning, and we've had to be stranded somewhere waiting 3-4 days for more money to come in because that was not flow. Yes. That was not flowing with trust.
I know what you
mean. So then we said, you know what? We cannot keep doing this. And if we know we're supposed to keep picking up and moving all the time, or we're staying somewhere, we just have to trust that it will always be there. And that's what we do. And it's always there. If we were still looking and constantly checking and watching it draining, well, that's a different reality. And that really is the old reality. Because money, how many times have we heard this? It's just energy.
Yeah.
And it's literally a piece of paper. Or with a card, it's an energetic transaction. It's literally a wave in between. So it's not real.
I know, man.
So when
It's
you
like,
really start to come down to it and be like, it's a piece of paper, right? This isn't real. This doesn't hold value over me.
and it's not even that. It's like you said, somebody gifting you a place to stay, or somebody gifting us an RV for a month. It's like
Yeah.
when we left Hawaii, we have told the story several times. I don't tell the whole thing, but we thought we were going to live there. What more could you ask for? We're doing activations and grid work, and we're having a blast, and it's a very simplistic life, and it's incredible. It's a paradise. And then we get the call, you need to get rid of all your stuff, and you need to. We had to borrow money to get our car over here because we figured if we're going to go, we got to have a car. We're going to make that choice.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, okay, we don't know how this is going to work, but we know we got to do it. Number one, and number two, there's something we just know it's going to work, but it doesn't make the human feel like perfect all the time.
No.
Everything laid out. Stay here for 3 weeks, come over here for a week, come over here for 2 weeks, come over here for 5 weeks.
So, but you have a choice each day, right? So when the human's not feeling perfect, what do? Do you just sit and worry? Or
No.
is that the time, is that the gift for you that you can give yourself to choose to dream?
Yeah.
And not just dream, but imagine the way it feels to whatever it is your dreams are. I can't answer that for anybody else but myself, right? So we smell it, we envision it, right? We go play, dance, move. And seriously, 3 months ago, I couldn't tell you any of this. And it's only been on the road in each now moment because we forced ourselves in the beginning to be so present because we had no service. And because if you have service, you're going to be on your phone and talking to your friends, checking social media. And so we had nothing. We were stuck in blizzards and we were going to bed at 6 o'clock at night and up at 4. But when you're in each now moment and all the thoughts come up and you have to think because you're out in nature, you choose where you want to go. And you choose play.
Yeah. How has the love, the field of love responded to the three of you guys when it's going to bed at 6, waking up at 4, and I mean these moments that we wouldn't have chosen, because we would have never known what it would bring. But I'm not trying to set you up on the question, but are you guys? It's a stupid question. You guys are expanding. Your love is getting stronger.
And I mean the relationship love, it changes. Because when you really start to say yes to yourself, to answering the calls and answering the messages and the knowing that's coming in from yourself, from your highest aspect, then everything starts to change and you actually do go really inward. So even though the three of us love each other so much, it's not a codependent love.
What?
It's not a codependent love.
Oh no, not at all.
And so it really it's love for self, because we start to see the truth of who we are more and more and more every day. And really, it's really hard to see the truth of who you are when you're in the matrix, going to work, in the slave system. You're hanging on by a thread.
Well, the matrix is a codependent relationship. Yes.
So I'll tell you the magic.
Do you find like we went through since August, like we stayed in a cabin for 6 weeks, in the middle of nowhere, right? It was given to us. Here we go again. And but there were a couple of extended periods where we were doing exactly what you're talking about, and we still do it. We did it a few days ago, where we go into where we're doing it alone, basically. Like just typical when we woke up, all of us, you're in solitude, call it dark nights, call it whatever you want to, but we were together. So we were cohabitating, but we were doing our shit, and taking care of our to thy own self be true and all that on our own, but we were cohabitating. It's really kind of weird,
So I feel we have the extra gift because we have Ocean, and he is they need for nothing, but their parents. Constant love and hugging and, you know, cuddling, dirt, rocks, playing.
Dirt,
I mean,
rock.
it's the most basic. It's he, you know, he craves the element. And so when we are out in the nature and we're out there, you know, and we stay in the backwoods, so we do what's called boondocking. So we stay in the back country. So you're not hooked up to anything. There's no power, or, you know,
Really?
hot water or anything. No. Well, we work off of. We work off of.
You guys are freaking balls, man. Are you serious? You got no.
Yeah. We didn't have. We now have hot water because we're in warm enough areas.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't have running water for the first month and a half because everywhere we were going, we were creating a blizzard. I mean, we woke up the day after Christmas in Joshua Tree, which is Southern California, to 2 feet of snow. We were like, oh God. We go to Palm Springs, and there was flash flooding there, you know? So this isn't, I'm not speaking from ego. This is not, oh, you know, I'm doing this and I'm doing this. No, our beautiful little family is saying yes, and we're having fun and playing while we're clearing out, while we're re-encrypting. Ocean is re-encrypting the organic matrix that he has all the codes in, you know? We all carry the new earth star codes that we are just going everywhere and planting. That's what we're doing, but we don't ever think about any of that because it doesn't matter, you know, because our job is to exist out of love, to play, to have fun, you know.
And you know, and the thing about this, and I saw, and I'm not advocating this for everybody. I'm not saying everybody should do that or anyone doing it's better than, you know, like what we're doing, whatever. But the thing is, like, this information that is coming from the Veras and the Augustes and you guys, this information that is coming from these people is absolutely, to me, the cutting edge information, data, and code. I mean, even more than anything that's written a book. I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm just saying.
No, I have
a video that was done 2 days ago. Or this information is so potent.
Yeah.
You know, it's just so potent. It really is.
And it is, and it's, you know, because I just started to get into my. I don't like the word soul mission, but for lack of a better word, working with the children, you know, but it's actually not working with the children, it's working with the parents, because we are so deeply programmed, you know, and especially if we've been on the spiritual journey, ascension path for a while, we have loads of programs about what is right and wrong. Even food. So the basic is food, right? Oh, children should not have sugar. Children should eat this, X, Y, and Z. Well, these Aurora children and the Rainbow children, they have different blood. They're able to cut through any mutated cells. The food does not affect them at all. Nothing can touch them.
Well, I think that even goes further too. Like, you know, I love that you had the ball to say that, by the way.
Well, and so, but here's the thing is I had deep programs with food because food is it's such a hot point, you know, for a lot of people. You must be vegan, you must be vegetarian, you must eat meat, whatever you believe, it is a program. And these beautiful little beings that are here to clear us out of all of that. So the biggest thing that I've had a really hard time with is parenting. And that I actually don't have to teach him anything. I have nothing to teach him. All I have to make sure, and we've even been saying, oh, keep him safe. I don't even have to keep him safe. Literally, when he grabs that knife, he knows what he's doing. And he has grabbed a knife many times. So I can go to a place of fear and say, oh my God, don't do that. You know, stop, you're going to cut yourself. Or I can say, hey, buddy, I see you have a knife. You know, would you want to hand that to mommy? I'd love to give you something else. And he's like, oh, sure, mom, right? Because I don't want to let him keep it. But it's the constant programs that we have to work on as parents, that we're not here to teach them anything. They are teaching us in every moment what we need to clear out, how deep the programs are, you know? There are teachers.
I agree, and I want to go back to what you said too, because you said there's a lot of programming in the light worker community, and these things that served us well
Yes,
in all respects. But the bottom line is, it's a new day.
it is. And
Nothing
it's a
that
new way. It's a new game.
So all this, this fluffy love and light shit, okay, where it's just another mask.
Yeah.
My shit stinks too, okay,
Yeah.
and the whole point is that it's almost like the chalkboard got erased.
Yeah.
Like right now, the chalkboard's being erased, and it doesn't matter what
Completely.
you were, doesn't matter who you were,
No.
it doesn't matter what book you wrote, it doesn't matter shit.
Yeah.
It matters.
And that's the hardest part, is when all identities have to go to be in the new earth. All identities. I was a teacher, I was a healer. And when the healing program came in, that I had to clear it out, that it was the savior program, that I had to clear that out. I mean, I was like, well, what am I going to do for work? Who am I? Like, I don't know. It was time to clear it, because I'm not here to save anyone anymore. Right. And that was a big one for me, because now who I am, now I'm a mom.
And not only that, but, and I don't consider myself a practitioner. I watch people, and that's a huge gift. Don't get me wrong, but it's
Yeah.
also kind of a burden. And what I mean by that is, you just said, what am I going to do for a living now? The healer program's been cleared, but who am I?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, in the light worker community, there's a huge over identification with what we
Yep.
do.
But
Like,
see, there is your answer. There is the how. That's the how. People want to know how all the time. How? Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Where so many of those teams are now are still in the duality of fighting the good, the bad, the dark, the light.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, we know there's no duality anymore. Right. So at what point are you going to let go of fighting the dark? Like, you don't really have a mission to do anymore. When it's your time, you will know that. Some people are still, they want that, but to be in the new earth, you have to let go of the loops.
That's right.
You have to make that final choice point and say, yes, I'm done. Because you can't bring it with you.
Well, and you can't, and it's like holding a bar of soap, right? You can't squeeze it in the new earth. You can't squeeze, and because in the old one, we squeezed it because we were afraid. You got to be careful. You got to be wary. Don't hold it too loose. This is like you're. It's almost like Luke Skywalker training with the lightsaber and having the mask on and the blindfold. It's almost like that. It's almost like letting your hands off the steering wheel and just letting it drive. Actually, that's what it is.
Totally. And right when you're coming up to stepping over, a lot of programs are going to come up, and that what came up for me, and they're going to be shoved at you by people that we love, that we respect. I recently had somebody that I really love and respect, and I still do, but they gave me a really beautiful gift, and they told me that I was false light, right? False light.
Oh.
And I said, thank you for that. Thank you for showing me that program that I need to clear out now. And it was like, after that, I had so much freedom, that I didn't have to still keep carrying all of this. I didn't have to keep fighting the dark and the light, that I could just now be in each moment. And I could now start to create in the new. But I don't think the creation is quite happening yet. It's, as far as the bigger picture, just my beliefs. But I think that I think that we're still in the state of being at this moment.
Yeah.
Learning how to be, because
I agree with you. I agree
because
with you.
we have to understand the truth of who we are, which is love.
You're speaking in a collective manner. You're absolutely right, because you have the awareness, and so we come into this awareness, and then you start to understand that You don't got to think about nothing, just be. And that takes getting used to, because those programs pop up and our friends tell us we're false light. I mean, we're getting used to it. But the next part is the creative part, the creation in action part. Now, there are people doing it, but even those people like yourself are still having to be faced with stuff every day and clear stuff every day to keep expanding.
But it's, but it's not hard. It's not, because you do have a choice of how you want to see it. So, like, for example, I have been having, so my son was born on Tuesday 2 years ago. And since Monday night, I have been having full-blown contraction, real, live, active labor contraction, massive pelvic puffiness, all of this. And it's been going on, and it's still going on. I asked it to stop for this meeting, because then I have to stop and I have to breathe through the contraction.
Yeah, either that or you're gonna be like Meg Ryan in that movie, making a bunch of moans in the middle of the shop.
I don't know that one. But I just allowed it to happen. I can go into the story, I can go into the pain, I could try to release the pain, or I could just allow it and focus on what I know how to focus on best, which is playing, which is love, which is having fun, connecting with my soul family in whatever way that looks like. And then Lisa in her article said, you will have literal birthing pains as you are birthing the new earth. So all of the physical symptoms that a lot of us are feeling right now is we are birthing this new earth. And when we talked about it on the call yesterday with Vera, a lot of other sisters were saying, I've been having contraction pains. Like, it's been intense. I didn't know what it was. We are birthing the new earth right now. Yeah. And that's a joy. That's a joy for me. Yeah, it's a ton of pain, but that's a joy. And what a blessing to be me in the here and now at this moment with my beautiful son and my beautiful husband, talking with you, my beautiful brother. We keep coming back to the truth of every moment, which is gratitude.
That's right.
Gratitude.
You know what? That's a big one. That's a big one. So the fluffy love stuff, okay. What it really gets down to is gratitude.
Gratitude.
We have nothing to bitch about anymore. Nothing.
Because again, reminder, everything is our creation. So when you take full powership, you bring in all your power, you take full ownership for your creation. That means the hardships. That means all the hard stuff that you are creating that for yourself, for your journey. Well, then you can't blame anyone. Then you're not giving your power out, and it's actually very empowering to yourself to be like, oh, okay, now I've created this X, Y, and Z. Cool. Let's see how it works out. If I'm too overwhelmed, then I'm going to ask my higher aspect, help me, right? I got a crying baby right now. I can't deal with this. Help me. And it always works out and bringing me back to a place. If nothing else works, 0.0.0.
Yeah.
Every thought, every decision, every moment, until it starts to become an automatic.
Yeah. That's amazing. And of course, I'm, married to the shadow eater, polarity expert. So, but I got
amazing.
Is that process changed my life.
Yeah.
When I met her 4.5 years ago, a little over 4 years ago, I was reconnected. I was making videos. I was doing a lot of stuff, but I was very shadowed. And so there was a lot of loops replaying. There was a lot of traumatic loops and cycles. But when she set me down to make the list, the list that triggered me was list all your failures.
Yeah.
And I listed 20. I went into the room and said, I'm done. And she's like, no, you're not. So 136 items.
Whoa.
But I'm telling you,
what a gift.
That night changed my life.
Yeah.
It changed my life because I was able to step away, which is a more intense and bigger thing, because I think we got to do those first. But and I said this a couple of months ago, I said, it's almost like it's turned into a maintenance, more of a maintenance. Let me go dig the shadows. Let me go find my deepest trauma. Now it's more of like you're doing, like you and your husband are doing, where it's like a maintenance. You just you go in and do it, you know.
And
And
eventually you get to a point where it's really calm, and there aren't a lot of things happening anymore. It took a little while for Ryan to really, really understand that we create everything. And it took a little bit for him to see, oh, actually, when all this truck stuff's happening, I'm creating it, you know? And so patience. I just had loads of patience, knowing that we're always perfect in every moment. There's nowhere to be, there's nothing to do.
As you look at the collective experience, and you look at the Gusties and the Todd and Morgans and your situation, and do you see difference in your partner that may be reflective of what's happening with the collective masculine energy?
So,
I mean, have you seen him
evolve? No, I don't think so with us. Ryan, there's a really beautiful men's group called the Sacred Sons, and they're based out of California, and they hold retreats, and it's for men only, and it's something we have been needing for so long, and they answered the call. And so it came in both, earlier this year that he was supposed to go to this and really truly feel the deep male masculine toxicity on every level, the pain, the not being able to show up, having to be a certain way, whatever. It was so deep, and honestly, that was his experience. And he shared a little bit about it with me. I don't know all of it, but I do know he came back a completely changed man.
Yeah.
And that was the best gift that he gave himself.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily, he's no longer like a direct mirror of the collective. And I think it's just because of where we're at.
Yeah. What I'm getting at is like in the evolution of your relationship and in his own evolution, which you just stated part of it. I think there's another side that's coming to the surface now. That masculine energy, regardless of who it is, goes into what he did and clears that toxicity and comes back. There are gifts that come with it, so to speak. There are new gifts or recovered gifts, and I guess that's what I'm saying. And really listening to your story, he has to be bringing something to the table with you. Are you guys really doing what you're doing? I mean,
we are. I mean, it's the sacred union. Of course he is. He is,
how's the sacred sex?
So you talk a lot about that, but first of all, we co-sleep with our 2-year-old because we have one bed. But that energy it's almost put on, it's not our connection anymore. Does that make sense? Well, it's not our connection. And it's really fun when it can happen, and we're so grateful, but it's interesting. It almost kind of takes us back to some of the old, if that makes sense. We haven't quite been able to have enough alone time to really figure out, to bridge that gap. And and this is probably too TMI for so many people, but neither of us are feeling lacking. Because when you are heart-based, when you are living heart-based, you have so much joy, so much gratitude that, literally we'll be driving down the road and be like, oh, this is so amazing. Right. This is so amazing. That when you're living a life that's orgasmic, well then, whatever. And I think that when the time has come and we need to explore that sacred sexuality, then it will be here.
Well, I think though. I think that's what's the misconception is. We associate the word sexuality with physicality. It's not. It's an energetic thing. So like you said, it can be just holding hands. It can be seeing something when you're driving down the road. But what does happen, and here's the other thing, it's not like, old relationships, it was part of the schedule, right? It was it was a basis of the so-called relationship that was a codependent relationship. Now, what happens here is like you could take one finger and just touch his or her, you know, right? And
Yes.
there's so
Yes.
much power in there.
Yes.
It's like, what, you know, why am I having an orgasm? You know,
Yeah.
why am I having a soulgasm?
The more that the programs and the beliefs leave our body, the body is filled with love. And when your body starts to vibrate as walking love, it is totally powerful. It is totally orgasmic. I mean, it's really the English language, the human language cannot describe the way you feel, the ecstasy that you're constantly existing in. And it doesn't mean that anything's perfect. It's not. But again, it's a choice. Are you going to choose to focus on how beautiful that you really do have it and the gratitude? Or are you going to go back to the linear mind and worry about the bank account? That is so not fun.
No.
It is not fun.
No.
And we don't create out of not fun, you know? But let's see how much fun it is. I mean, let's see how much your bank account can go to today, Todd. Let's see how fun to see. Not even that. Maybe you can find money on the street. Maybe you get a free place to stay at the nicest RV park for a month because somebody really likes you and wants to give that to you.
That's right.
You know, we get gifted things all the time. We have no expectations. We don't ask, and it's not because it just appears.
Yes.
We don't ask, and it's not because the ego, it just appears. You know what I mean? So, because we're constantly excited to see how things show up.
Yeah. I think I'm going to get my hair done like yours.
Yeah, do it. I don't know why it just came in as green. Ryan has green, and even Ocean has a little tiny piece of green.
Put some green, purple, and blue. A couple of weeks
It's so fun.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do it. I can't, you know, I can't.
Well, you have gray hair, so you can just put that direct pigment right over.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Does that mean I can't take it out?
It washes out. I have to redo it all the time.
Wow, you're so where are you guys headed east by any chance? Are you headed
We will be going everywhere. Yeah. And I think that I don't know how long you're doing for New Orleans. It's been coming in for a few weeks that we're supposed to be there ASAP. But you know, we don't plan it. So
please let us know. Okay, because we're in the same boat. We know where we're going to be until the 20th of January.
Okay.
And we don't really know anything after that. So let us know if you're headed east. And
we are headed east for sure. And I contacted Morgan, but you guys were a little far. We were in Arizona and you were in Arkansas. That was a little far. But again, see, that was trying to plan, and there's no planning.
No, and
when it's meant to be, it will happen.
That's right. That's right. The last time we went through Sedona, on the way over here, I think we stayed 2 nights. We didn't talk to one person. And
you
that's
didn't.
not,
yeah.
That's not what we planned, but we obviously had to go over there. I had a lot of clearing to do.
And, same. We went there a little bit ago.
This is how it goes. I mean, you know, this is just how it goes. Yeah, we'd love to connect with you and Ocean and sit in his presence, and then I could rub his Buddha belly.
Oh man, that kid, he's so special. Yeah. He's such a gift. I love you so much.
We love you guys too. Thank you for what you're doing.
I look forward to all of us being together in Spain. Vera, Agassi.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Dream it real, baby.
Hey, you know what? It's happening. This is the breakout year.
Yep.
Take care. All blessings to you.
Love you.
And well, it'll be sometime in 2020 hooking up and breaking together.
Yep.
You know, so you take care. Well, let's do it again sometime.
Okay.
Bye.